Okay, folks, so we're gonna play a little game here. I'm gonna give you 4 different little movements that we typically do in our locomotion class. One is the lizard. One is, we call it the sexy spider. We're gonna be doing wrap step to wrap around, and what's the last one? Sexy spider, wrap step, lizard, and ape step. Okay, so we're going to take these 4 movements, we're going to learn them, and then we are going to work through creating transitions to flow from one to the other. And just like in life, transitions are hard, also very hard in movement. So let's just start with the sexy spider. I should also mention that these 4 movements I learned from Ido Portal. I met Ido, he came and stayed in Regina with us on multiple occasions, as did Odelia, his assistant. And I owe a lot to Ido for all of the locomotion patterns that he taught me. What I love about the locomotion is that it gets you out of that linear mentality that we seem to have to the body, even though there are fundamental rules, fundamental principles that govern the body. We are not linear creatures, we are not linear animals. But for some reason, when we get within the space of a gym, we create this alternate reality of what the body can do, or our imagination for some reason becomes very stifled. So, great thing about this is that you're gaining strength in very strange positions, non-linear positions, and it's one thing to have range of motion and strength in that range of motion when it's in a controlled setting. Of course, when you start to work with having pieces flow together, movement pieces flow together, then you're going to be starting to work at different angles and expressing strength on different planes, different levels, different angles. Okay, so here we go. Here's the sexy spider. Again, hands down, external rotation, swoop, hand comes down, swoop. So it's this constant internal rotation, external rotation, internal rotation, external rotation. Okay, ape step. Note how my hands are configured based on how my feet are positioned. Front leg is at about 125 degrees, toes are facing the ceiling. Once again, change direction. Doing your best to keep your hips low. If you're a little tight, it might look more like that, with your hips up high, and that's fine. Just work on getting those hips lower. So that's the ape step. The lizard, we can do that high. But we can also do that from a low position. And finally, the wrap step. Wrap to wrap around. Again. Again, let's talk about some more locomotion patterns. The lizard. Again, Ido showed me this, gosh, probably 10 years ago on one of his visits to Saskatchewan. I think what's so interesting about this is that well, first of all, it's a very primordial pattern. It's something that we've been doing well, since as babies. So long before fitness existed or exercise existed as this construct, we've been crawling on the ground, and we didn't have a name for it, and we were actually better for it, for having not named it. So this involves a full body push with the leg, with the arm, plus a full body pull. So again, just like when babies are learning how to crawl, it's a push and a pull. push, and a pull. Okay, so one of the other fascinating things I find about this, again, really draws out that distinction between a movement approach to the body and more of the Western, North American approach, which is primarily through the lens of fitness or exercise. So that exercise or fitness approach tends to be quite mechanical and reductionist. So the idea is often you're doing push-ups merely for volume. So if you can do 10, maybe you're working to do 20, or maybe you're working to do 50 push-ups in a row. But not necessarily making the movement itself more complex. And that's something that I've always been drawn to with Ido's work, is that concept of movement complexity. So fascinating thing about it is that you can easily have someone that could do, I don't know, 50 push-ups in a row, 20 push-ups in a row, but they can't do a single repetition of a low lizard. And again, that mechanical sort of reductionist, isolationist approach that we have to the body is really the culprit here. So I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with push-ups. We do a lot of push-ups, but there's just so much more out there that the body is capable of, and we really need to start expanding our landscape, our imagination of what the body can do and is designed to do. So why is that? Why would someone be able to do very impressive volume of push-ups, but not a single repetition of the low lizard? Well, I think it comes again back to that idea of integration of the entire structure of the body. If your body doesn't understand the timing, the rhythm, the coordination, how to effectively coordinate and organize itself, it's not going to be able to perform the lizard. Okay? The low lizard looks like this. We're here, we pull with our arm, we push with our foot. We pull and we push. All right, so let's just go through that wrap step again. The wrap step is very tricky. The idea is that you're trying to wrap your feet around your hands. So obviously requires a lot of hip mobility, a lot of ankle mobility. Here it is again. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Note the position of my feet in relationship to my hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. And from there, we add the wrap step. And that is going to bring me full rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the wrap around is basically just this pendulum. It's a kick, kick. Again, kick, kick. So putting it all together, 1, and kick, kick, and rotate. Let's just review the sexy spider one more time. So you need to do this, you're gonna need some strength to get the hand behind you, and a little bit of mobility through the hips. So you're gonna externally rotate and swoop the foot out. Swoop. And as I push off, I already have to be thinking about my transition. Here, internal rotation now, and transition. Lean, transition. I have to be constantly shifting the weight from my hands back to my feet. If I don't, then I'm gonna get stuck either forward or backward. So here I've got that weight on my hand, I'm internally rotating, other hand is down. Once again. External rotation, swooping through, so it's this position that I'm looking for. Swoop, other hand comes down, externally rotate, internally rotate here. Here, 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 here. And it's a constant negotiation of back and forth. All right, the ape step, going through the ape step. Great little piece for warming up primarily low gait work. here, keeping that leg bent. We can switch. I can simply do a weight transfer coming onto the other leg so that I can change directions. All right, folks, so we're going to be doing 4 different movements, incorporating them into 60 to 90 seconds of continuous movement. So now we've moved into that tricky stage of improvisation. Okay, so I'm just going to take those 4 movements, paying, again, close attention to the transitions, see how it goes, make a mistake, just keep on rolling. All right, give it a try.